The new documentary Anxious Nation premieres online this week and will open in select theaters Friday. It explores and captures the many faces of anxiety. Joining us to talk more about this is New York Times best-selling author Laura Morton, who is also making her directorial debut with this film. Laura, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. How are you today?
Oh, good morning, Amanda. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, reading over your biography on your website, you are a very accomplished writer, having worked with many celebrities, many famous people. What drove you to this particular documentary, this topic? I imagine you really have a pick because you're so good at what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that. You know, I'm a storyteller by trade, and I also happen to be the mother of a very anxious child. And in 2018, I was feeling incredibly defeated, like I was failing my daughter as a parent because she suffers from anxiety. And it was something I didn't really know a lot about. But I thought it was something that was only happening in our home. And I was very wrong about that. I put a post on Facebook that said, "Kids and anxiety, who's dealing with it?" And the response that I got was extraordinary. The private messages that I got were also really telling that there was a story here, a story that needed to be told. And this, you know, was in 2018 where we weren't talking about our children's mental health the way that we are today.
So how did you go about telling this story along with your co-filmmakers?
Well, you know, it was a journey. We started filming in 2019, and along came COVID in 2020, which was a pivot in many different ways for us, right? And, you know, COVID poured gasoline all over an already burning inferno. We already had a crisis in this country of anxiety among our youth. And you know, when COVID happened, it was something that none of us had ever been through before. Luckily, we had 14 cameras in the field, and we're working with a cast that generally is used to filming themselves. So we were able to continue filming throughout COVID and catching a lot of that anxiety in real time. It was just an extraordinary experience all the way around.
Why do you think anxiety has reached this fever pitch, this level of crisis?
I think there are a lot of reasons that you know, when I first set out to make the film, the question that I wanted to answer is, are we actually more anxious, or are we just more aware of it? And in 2018, that was a pretty fair question. But I think in 2023, I think we can all agree, and statistics certainly show that we are extremely anxious. And you know, I think that there's many different reasons. A lot of people like to point the finger at social media, and there's no question that you know, is a contributor. But I also think there's a nature-nurture element here. I think having gone through the pandemic, the social unrest, eco-anxiety, school shootings, all the, you know, political turmoil, I think there's you know, many different reasons. And the thing about anxiety is it doesn't discriminate. And, you know, it's not the same thing for every single person. It's a shapeshifter, and how it impacts my child might not be how it impacts your child. But it's very real for our kids, and it's very real for us as adults. And I think it's a natural reaction to have to all of these things that we've been going through, especially over the last 3 years.
The film is Anxious Nation. It is online and in select theaters this week, co-written and co-directed by our guest, Laura Morton. Laura, thank you so much for all of the work you do. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.